All right, let's take a quick look at some of the other big races around the state this morning.
Yeah, a number of candidates won re-election for some of the top positions statewide. Audrey Castoreno joins us now with a look at the results there. Audrey?
Hey, good morning, Barry and Sarah. Let's start off with the governor's race. Governor Greg Abbott is preparing for a second term after beating Democrat and former Dallas County Sheriff Lupe Valdez. She would have been the state's first Latina and openly gay governor, but Abbott's victory didn't come as much of a surprise. Republicans have won every governor's race in Texas since 1994. And here's what Abbott had to say last night in Austin after his win.
Whether or not you voted for me or against me or didn't vote at all, I'm going to go to work every single day working for everybody in this great state.
Incumbent Dan Patrick edged out challenger Mike Collier to win a second term as Texas lieutenant governor. Patrick and Collier were neck and neck for most of the night, but Patrick pulled ahead as more precincts came in. And Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton is also headed back for a second term. At one point in the night, Paxton trailed challenger Justin Nelson in the polls, but came back to win by a very slim margin. The race for Attorney General was the closest of all statewide races in Texas outside the race for U.S. Senate. And this race doesn't affect us locally, but it certainly got a lot of attention over the last week. Veteran Dan Crenshaw won the 2nd Congressional District, which covers part of the Houston area. We talked about him earlier this week after he was mocked on SNL for his appearance. Crenshaw lost his eye while serving in Afghanistan. Guys, back to you.
Audrey, thank you.
Good lesson. You just don't poke fun at veterans.
Absolutely.
Certainly.